But right now in the studio, it is my honour to present Chris Marigold. Oh, I nearly forgot your last name, Chris. I'll turn your mic on there, that'll help.
Thank you very much, Josh.
First off, Chris, how are you?
I'm good. I'm a bit jet lagged because I've been travelling.
You've been all over the place.
I have been all over the place, but yeah, I feel good now. It's nice to be playing tonight. I've had a couple of days off.
Nice.
But looking forward to the party tonight. Definitely.
Have you been down in New Zealand before?
No, first time.
Nice. What do you think of our gorgeous country so far?
Oh, I've only seen a few streets, to be honest, but very nice from what I've seen. Really nice, very nice people. I have to say, very warm people.
So, are you on holiday or are you touring?
No, I'm just here to play, and then so I play here tonight in Auckland, and then tomorrow fly off to Sydney for the last date, and then from there just fly back to London.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
How long have you been on the road for?
Just 8 days or something, not long. Just I flew into Australia, played there, and then came here and then back. So.
And what do you do in the real world?
In the real world, I work in an animal shelter, would you believe? That is my other love apart from music is animals.
That's cool.
So, yeah, it's great. It's really, really nice, yeah.
So you've been involved in music since '96. You started off on a lot of like jungle-y sort of stuff.
Yeah, I started with a guy called Leo, and we were both making music independently, and then we were introduced by a mutual friend, and we just hit it off really well, and we knew we could make something happen. And in the space of a few short months, we had a release that was just massively popular, and then we got picked up by LTJ Bukem for his label, and we got signed to his label, and spent some years there, and we've just been kind of growing and growing ever since, and releasing all different styles of music. And then
put out your first album with Good Looking Records.
Yeah, that was a compilation of material from Good Looking, and yeah, it was just in some exclusive stuff. That was a long time ago. Real ancient history.
And then you went for a big switch up and slowed the BPM down a bit, started doing a few breaksy sort of things.
Yeah, we got a bit tired of drum and bass. You know, it's like eating too much chocolate cake. You need, you need some cabbage at some point. So we switched, and we joined a label called Exceptional, and we actually released 2 albums with them. One called The 6 Million Names of God, and one called Black Water, which was between 2003 and 2007, and a whole load of EPs and singles and remixes, and a whole variety of stuff. But it was it was a good thing to do. It was a good thing to go away from drum bass, because we came back, I think, with more love for it once we'd stepped away from it.
Now, the 6 Million Names of God was a really big left turn for you guys. I mean, mostly you've been doing breaksy, jungly stuff.
Yes.
And then it was very ambient, tribal house sort of stuff. I mean, what was the influence there? Was it something you were going through personally, or was it just time for a change?
We needed a change from drum and bass, but also we, I don't know if you know Future Sound of London, very big influence on us, and they would create these albums that were just all mixed together, just one long thing that you could listen to from beginning to end, and we just really wanted to do that, and so that particular album was mixed just to be listened to from beginning to end. It's just something we wanted to do. I'm not even sure if it was a great career move. It's probably suicidal, but it was, we enjoyed it.
Well, it was good because it also gave you a chance to do stuff with your own record label as well, and messing around with so I forgot what the name was.
That was Deep Structure, the label called Deep Structure, right. Which it had about, it wasn't a big label, it had only 12 or 13 releases before we had enough, because it's, as anybody who does it will tell you, running a record label is really hard work, even more so now than it was then. But so we had a whole bunch of releases, and it was a very schizophrenic affair. There was breaks, there was house, there was techno, there was drum and bass, there was ambient, there was weird left field rock, and it was a real mess of a label, I have to say. But there were some nice tunes on it. But we didn't press that many, so now they're very rare. So if you see one second-hand, cheap, get it, because you can sell it for quite a lot of money.
And it made a big difference to your production as well when you finally did return to drum and bass in, say, 05, 06. It was a very polished, heavy sort of industrial sound that got picked up by the likes of Shogun Audio and Hospital Records. Yeah,
we released a whole bunch of stuff. We as you say, Hospital and Shogun and Renegade Hardware and 31 Records. There was a whole load of them. Yeah, I think people were a little surprised that we came back to drum and bass after being away for so long, and they're like, oh, okay, what have you got? And so we worked with a whole load of labels, but then we did that for a couple of years, but then we kind of had enough, and then in 2009 I just decided that we should do it ourselves. We've been around long enough. We don't really need other labels, so we should just make our own label, release our own stuff, do that for a few years, and then start looking for new talent, new artists to sign, so we can develop them ourselves. And that's what we've been doing really the last 2 years, 18 months.
And so that would be under Blu Mar Ten Music, is
that's
that
right? Yeah.
And what's that about? Do you just go out and find people in clubs?
Yeah. So it was actually, we were talking about a young artist called Stray earlier. So Stray is an old friend of ours, and he turned up at our studio about a year and a half ago with a piece of music he'd written called When It Rains, which technically was drum and bass, but it was kind of ambient, and I heard it, and it was the most beautiful piece of music I'd heard in years. But then I thought, no one else is going to release this. Nobody is going to release it. I should release it on our label.
Nice.
And that kind of kick-started the idea to do it. And so we started working with him. And since then I've been just going out and finding just almost pretty much brand new artists, or as close to brand new as it comes. Like on Monday we have a release from two guys from Slovakia who have never had a release, but they've never even given away a free tune before. So that's so it's finding people like that, finding people who are making really interesting music and really different music that doesn't really have a home anywhere else, because people aren't really brave enough to put it out, and releasing it.
And that's all coming out under Blu Mar Ten, or is there a few?
The label is Blu Mar Ten Music. People call it BMTM, so it's coming out on BMTM. But there are the artists. If you go to blumarten080313interview.com, you can see the artists, you can hear the releases. So you can see the kind of music that we're signing. And we just signed up a young guy called he's a German producer called Frederick Robinson, and we've signed him up for an album, to do an album this year. And this guy is writing the most interesting music in the whole of drum and bass, in my opinion. He's the next big thing, I think, and I think he's going to move way beyond drum and bass and into film soundtracks, contemporary classical, jazz, and he's something special. So watch this space for him.
Nice. So what's next for Blu Mar Ten? I mean, your latest album went straight to top 10 and top 20 in the US. I mean, is there another album in the pipe?
Yeah, we're working on a new album at the moment. The label takes up a huge amount of administration time, so it just takes a lot of energy to run the label. And then touring as well takes a bit of time. But yeah, we're in between that. We're working on a new album. I'm actually on this tour just for the first time in Australia and New Zealand, just trying out some of the first parts that we're finishing from the album, just to see how they sound, and then I'll go back and I'll change them and make them sound better, or good even. So we're working on that. I'm hoping to get it out this year sometime. We're hoping to get the first single out maybe in the next 2-3 months, and then there maybe be another single, and then the album towards the end of the year.
What's the sound or the feel of it? What do you think? Does it have
I
one?
have no idea how to answer that. It's very dense, very dense sound. Our sound has always been very dense. It's not a simple sound, and sometimes it's not for everybody, because it's not simple, it's not straightforward. So kind of have to listen to it about 15 times before you work your way through it. But I don't know how to describe it. I mean, it will all be
a trickier one for you then. Having been through so many sounds that you've done before, I mean, like we were saying, you've done jungle, you've done breaks, drum and bass, ambient house, tribal house, glitch, trip hop, all sorts of stuff. What would you think, or can you possibly box yourself into a sound? So if I was going to say to somebody, hey, look, Blu Mar Ten's playing down at Barker Room tonight, and they say, oh, what do they like? What do they play?
I would say drum and bass. It is drum and bass. Even all the other music that we've written, to me, is still drum and bass. The approach was the same. I think drum and bass is a particular approach, the way you take sounds and mash them together, and things that shouldn't work together, just smash them together and make them work, and find a way of making them work. All our music was written like that. So in a way, all the music we've ever written was drum and bass, even though it was at different speeds. The approach was always a drum and bass approach. It was always a jungle approach.
What's your favourite genre that isn't associated to drum and bass?
Jazz, probably.
Jazz?
Well,
yeah.
I don't know. Is that associated with drum and bass?
I don't know.
It is,
okay, not associated with dance music.
Yeah, jazz probably. Yeah. Jazz and classical. I don't really listen to any electronic music at all. I mostly listen to jazz and classical, a lot of folk music, mostly acoustic music I listen to.
I'm a classic rock fan myself. So
are you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Bit of a Westie.
Show me your Slayer.
Jump around and jump through windows, that sort of thing. So Barker Room tonight, I mean, you haven't played in New Zealand before.
Nope.
And are you hanging out for the rest of the afternoon, or are you going to go straight down there? And
yeah, I'll probably look through my tunes, have a look at what to play. It's great because tonight's a slightly longer set. It's a 2-hour set, which is nice because you get a chance to explore a little bit more, maybe play some older stuff. What tends to happen with me is because I'm quite old, and a lot of our listeners from the old days, you know, they've all moved on, they've had kids and they've grown up, but then they'll come out for this one gig. So it's nice to play a few old tunes for some of the old guys who turn up, you know, like an old people's home.
Can you tell us what kind of tunes you're going to be dropping? Have you got one in your head?
Well, as I said, some of the brand new stuff that we're working on that doesn't even have names yet.
Wow.
Some of the stuff from that I've signed for our label that will be coming out over the rest of the year. Been playing some of that. Some nice kind of stark, tribal, minimal stuff, very fierce sounding stuff. And then a lot of perhaps more melodic stuff like Seba, people like that. He's just released a new album and I have some new remixes from him. So yeah, a real swing between kind of traditional drum bass and some much more musical stuff, and maybe some cheeky bootlegs, mashups, maybe a little bit of dubstep if you're unlucky.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, it should be. I'm looking forward to it. I think it'd be a good night.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for talking to us, Chris.
Thank
I really
you, Josh.
appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And this is actually one of your tracks. This is Problem Child by Blu Mar Ten. He's going to be playing, a.k.a. Chris Marigold. He's going to be playing tonight down at the Barco Room. That's 53 Nelson Street, with local support from Hakomi, Package and Medium, thanks to Drop Bass NZ. It's going to be absolutely huge. We've got a double pass to give away if you text us right now, 8736. This is Problem Child, Blu Mar Ten. My name's the Triple F. You're listening to Sonic Drive. Turn this up.